Matt-Trakker's gonna live the nation, and Spectrum's got such supervision. Mask is a mighty power that can save the day. Mask, no one knows what lies behind the mask charade. Mask, always riding out on Venom's trail. Comes to the laser rays, fire away.
Hey everybody, it's Bill from Matt-Trakker.com, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Mask. The mask community has a lot of really great people on it. I'm not talking about myself. Obviously, that we all know that I'm great. That's what I tell myself anyway. But there's a lot of other websites out there, a lot of other people out there that are helping keeping mask alive. And there's a website that came out not too recently, maskforce.com. And I was blown away by it because I got to see it before it even launched. And right now I'm talking with the creator, and if you can see the video, a far more comprehensive collector than I. Robert, how you doing today?
I'm good, Bill. Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
I hope so. You're in the future. You're 12 years.
12 light years.
You're about 12 hours in the future.
Yep.
Do we still have water on the planet?
We do. I've got one right here.
Okay. Yeah, I got some too. That's important.
Definitely.
Yeah, but when I talk about the mask community itself, and when I talk about how close we are, I don't really think anybody really grasps that dynamic. Like, some people asked me, they weren't in the mask community, like friends and family. It's like, oh, that's another website out there to compete with you. I was like, what do you mean compete? All that's going to do is help solidify the fact that mask is still here. Mask is ready. Look at this website. It just came out. It took all these different elements and these dynamics that were out there, put it into that website, and still are continuing to grow. And there's a ton of other ones out there too. But today we're going to focus on yours and also in your collection. And you sent me a message on Facebook, and you're like, would you mind checking it out? I loved it. Like, as a designer, the 3D spinning and just the way you had it laid out and the way you continue to lay it out. It's a really fascinating website. And if nobody's been, people are watching this, they haven't been there yet, the link's in the description. I'll put it right here too, somewhere on the video. I don't know where it'll be. Yeah, so it'll be somewhere. I just don't know. It all depends on wherever Zoom wants to put that. But it's your site, Agents of Mask, All About Mask, just came back after a couple of years of hiatus. So we were chatting a couple seconds before the video, but Albert Pinello's website, which hasn't been changed since 2002, but it's still relevant. And there's a ton of other ones out there too. I like that it's not just our website trying to push forward. And I wanted to get your thoughts and why you decided to go the route that you did. And before we talk about your collection, let's talk about the website. Like, what drove you to kind of get that going? Because I know you have kids, you have a family, and you have a hectic work life. Where'd you find the time, and how did it come to be? So there's a lot of questions you have to answer. Any order you want to go, that's fine, but feel free.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So I think Maskforce itself, it started about 5 years back. I bought the domain on around just before the 30th anniversary. I was talking with Jose from P&A in a Facebook group. We're good friends, and we thought we want to do something a little different. And as you said, it wasn't the aim to compete with anyone. That's definitely not the aim. We're here to complement, and we wanted to take something different, a different approach. And I was really fascinated with Carson Metaxas, who did 3D Joe's, and he has an amazing site. I think everyone should go check that out, and please put a link on the bottom for that as well. And that is a very inspirational site, and I've been honored to watch that site grow. And I had a chat with Carson, and I never managed to come around to really get to the gist. I wanted to get a similar feel with Mask, getting a spin, because I thought that's a really awesome resource, not just for collectors, but also for artists who don't have the toys, you know, to inspire fan creations, that they actually have a resource on their fingertips that they can look at the toys in a little bit more details instead of having static multi-views, which are awesome. There are great sites with that, but we wanted to be different. We didn't want to be the same. So that was my kind of main purpose. I want to give something that is different, something a little bit more, and just do something different. The second thing is we really wanted to, what you're already doing is focus on the fans, and everything is for the fans. And so we kind of went in parallel with, we wanted the spins, and we wanted to make a community, at least have some resource where we can tie together all the extremely creative guys out there. And I'm most proud of the community section, which just keeps growing, just building, adding on more and more, and getting to meet all these people. I think that is just fascinating. But yeah, so it started 5 years back, and it's taken this long to actually come to fruition. I think it was this year that we finally decided, okay, let's sit down and do this. But yes, time, oh my gosh, I don't know how many thousand man hours have actually gone into it and still go into it. It's just, it's a beast. I thought I'll get the spins and a bit of the community up. And I think when you did the first review, it's evolved quite tremendously since then.
Oh, it has.
I was watching it with my son. So this site was done by me and my eldest son, Raina. And we were both watching a video, and you went over the photos and you were like trying to click on them, and they didn't enlarge like in the comic section. And I'm like, yeah, I know, Bill, that hasn't come yet. We haven't come down to doing that section yet. So we've now added that part on where you click and we're actually going onto another page talking about individual comics. And yeah, it's kind of taking on its own life. It's like a life force. It just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So a couple hours each night, I'll be working on the site. Yeah, I didn't appreciate how much time is taken until I got into this. But it was a labor of love. That was great. Yeah.
Do you have a background in design, or
I don't. No, I mean, I've always enjoyed art, and I wasn't a great artist, but I really appreciate the Mask art boxes, which is why I collect all the box art. So I'm kind of really driven by trying to give the art justice.
Yeah, but it's interesting because, you know, naturally nowadays there's easier ways to build websites than there were back, you know, when I started in 2001. And I like the fact that you don't have to have like a degree in web design to be able to make a website, because it lets people that have creativity and have the artistic passion to do something, make it happen. And, you know, Wix, Squarespace, there's tons of them out there. And that's an important thing too for the community growing forward, because not everybody's like, you know, crazy like me, or now you, doing all this for the fans and everything like that, where there's so much time. And how old is your oldest son?
So when he started the project, it was 13. Now he's 14, and he's kind of computer driven. So he was huge help. I mean, I'd say we really built this together. I would not have done this without his help.
I love that. I do.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that when Liam, my oldest, who's 9.5 months, we're getting there. I'm hoping that when he's, old enough to challenge himself and really want to learn some things, I can bring him in here and teach him some of those things too. Because the website will still be there. Keep a mask alive is probably gonna be the same slogan, because Lord knows what we're going to get out of anything. But the fact that you're able to share the passion, with your son, and he's able to help you and maybe learn some of the trends that, that you might not know. Um, it's a really cool father son thing. I think, to be honest. And aside from, well, talk about before we get into like what
Maybe
might
I'll
be
just
coming.
add to that. I do think that, to be honest, that probably is the greatest achievement personally, being able to have built that together with him. I mean, of course, we do it for the fans in the community, but getting that opportunity to have that extra bonding moment was and is just a true labor of love. I mean, that was just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, Liam comes in here and tries to help me. Um, he just does this really. So here's the table. He just does this. Um, he's trying, but he'll get there. It's he just kind of takes stuff and bangs it around. Yeah, how it goes. But no, I love that aspect. I love the fact that your passion for the collecting of this like has rubbed off on him, um, and learning the technology aspects of all this, being learning in the computer field is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
And to take those elements right now, 14 is a freshman, yeah, freshman in high school in the States. I'm not sure that is where you are. Um, that's a huge thing to have that development already in place to learn how to step through all the code, the trial and error, the project management of it alone. It's a huge thing. um, so kudos to you and to your son for doing that. um, I like I said, I hope to be able to outlucky you one day, but well, time will tell. um, so the site itself, talk to us, like I reviewed it, but talk to us about some of the things that you really wanted to incorporate in the site, as you were building through this. Like there's things that are naturally in there that you're going to have information on it, or etc. But what are some of the things that you really wanted to convey to people that were visiting the site, to learn about Mask?
So, I mean, it's still a work in progress. I would say we're a month and a half since formal launch, but the main aim was, as I said, the spins. We wanted people to be able to catch these spins, for them to be like eye candy, and not just eye candy, be informative eye candy. We want that to really pop and use that as a means for people to learn about Mask, which is why we talk about first appearance and cartoon and comics. Eventually we're going to have other things. We've got box art, we've got instructions, we've got stickers, we're going to have all the various different box arts which we're slowly building up on. So we want to have it as kind of a one-stop resource for each character or agent and each vehicle, and for that to be able to jump around. So just be very interactive and informative. I mean, information is one thing. There's a lot of information on the web, and we wanted to collate that. That was the main aim. Put it together, one spot, one resource.
No, and it's something that I've been trying to do for the longest time. The problem is that there's so much information, and there's so much of it that's inaccurate. First, being accurate, so it's hard to really pin down. So like the website, my website, it doesn't have this, everything spinning. It has good information, but there's things that are lacking on it, and I know that for a fact. Um, some of the stuff, as you just said, I want to link more of that together, but right now it's static how it stands, and it's going to be a work in progress. I've been a work in progress since 2001.
Yeah.
And it's how I taught myself basically my career path, which is kind of funny. I started building the website after I found my original Matt-Trakker figure, behind a radiator, and I was like looking up mass stuff, and I was like, "There's nothing out here except for Albert's site." It was like, it just kind of spurred me along to. I think I was scouring eBay at that point, for pictures or something like that. But it's funny how things that happen like that spur something along that far along.
Exactly.
In 2001, it's 2020 now. We're almost 2021. We're almost 20 years my website, and I and it's been active. It's not like it sat dormant forever. That's kind of crazy, but a lot of it, you know, a lot of it was the message board for a long time. That became too hard to maintain for one person. Um, and getting with the Facebook groups and the not everybody's on Facebook. I know it makes it harder, but the YouTube channel has really helped reach different audiences. I think people that actually really care about the toy line and the channel and the website and etc. are able to watch and convey their interests and their points, which I like the back and forth. Um, do you have the ability to have that back and forth on your website, or is it you have suggestions that people can give you or anything like that?
So, I mean, I do have feedback sections, but I
Okay.
know those are not used. So I think the main route is through Facebook groups and through Instagram. There is, though, an issue that I've noticed with Facebook. We tend to have the same people interacting, and it's just, although it's a huge community, I actually think there's a lot of people out of Facebook. I'm part of quite a few WhatsApp chat groups, and all these guys shun social media, and their passion is intense. So I think your YouTube channel, what you're doing, and websites, for instance, are a means for these individuals to interact. So I am looking at a way to make the site more interactive, but we have so many interaction platforms. I don't want to just be another one. It's tough.
Yeah. No, it is. I've tried to resurrect message boards over the years. My previous provider screwed me over on that, and the backups that they said that they were going to be making and had, they did not have them. Um, so I have like this broken version of it that I've been trying to resurrect and has not worked. And I don't know if it will, because there was some good information out there on a lot of different things, but it's something I've been trying to do, but it's so time consuming to try to resurrect a MySQL database for vanilla, vanilla message board. Like it's not a it's not a thing that's like you can just kind of take an afternoon to do. Yeah,
Together.
no, exactly. Because I don't know what's broken. I tried, um, and unfortunately, that's just what we have right now. But you know, maybe at one point, the whole collective of all of us can be like, hey, you know, let's put together something that's going to help people that aren't on social media to be able to do this stuff too. Because even YouTube social media, so maybe people aren't on there that much, but I know that it's something that I've really been trying to I've been trying to get in place, but it's hard to do. It really is. So, but maybe that's some as you and I and maybe a couple of people can work on
Definitely.
as a collective. Um,
Yeah.
where it'll be I won't be able to resurrect the old stuff, but maybe we can put something together new that would help with that, help with another outlet for everybody.
I'm definitely in with something like that. I mean, I don't think anything can be done as a one-man show. Just doing the site already, I've noticed the time and the commitment. So, and we should be working together. I mean, everyone's got their own skill sets, their own reach, their own avenues to get information. And I think that will be the best way to go forward. Because I mean, as you said, information, also what's really important is accuracy. And just trawling through the Facebook sites, hate pages, the amount of information that comes out is amazing. There's really good stuff. There's some weird stuff, but that's all right. That kind of stimulates conversation and kind of prompts you to go look. And for my site, what I tried to make sure is I didn't just rehash information that others had done. I actually, like for the comics, we went and, well, my son and I went through every comic ourselves and re-got that information. And we're doing that right now for the cartoons. You've done an amazing job. You've done it already. But I'm trying to pick up a slightly different element, which, you know, no point repeating, reinventing the wheel. We want to get something different. So,
No, correct.
and it's a lot of work. So I've managed to recruit a couple of agents, as I call them, to help me out in the UK comic, because that is a monster that's like 130 books and multiple pages.
Yeah, I mean, luckily on the channel, Dave, he's got another one coming out soon.
Exactly.
You know, he was a blessing. Like, I don't have it. I have some of the comics, not a lot, and he's such a wealth of knowledge. And I know you got some of the, you know,
Yeah.
the little fun facts like about the random characters and everything. I was just like, yes, get that somewhere.
I had a chat with him. I thought that was amazing. Like, we got to put that together. When I tried to find it on Facebook, you're like hunting through all the millions of posts and you never find them, right? So unless you actively look for them. So I thought, let's put them together. And he was awesome with that.
I'm glad you guys did that, because, you know, it's, I chatted with him a couple months ago on that topic. And, you know, I was trying to get it all into a video, but it didn't, you know, video format it couldn't really do it justice because of what you were really learning about here. I mean, Dave, fortunately, he has a wealth of knowledge on every comic that's out there. And we're going to be doing the second part of our tier list for the figures coming out soon. So we have that, you know, that dynamic where we can kind of, you know, he can bounce from one to the other, which I really appreciate, because sometimes it's not really fun talking to myself all the time. But you know, I was happy to see that on there, and I can hear people ask, well, aren't you jealous about that? No, not really. It's like, why would I be jealous that Dave's doing all this work and putting mass stuff out there? I was like, I don't care what avenue it's on. Like, if you started his own, if you guys started your own channel, or you had a Twitch or whatever the kids are doing these days, I don't know.
That's a good one, Twitch.
You know, I was like, I just want the information out there so these idiots that, you know, hold all the cards in Hollywood right now, that done nothing with it, keep seeing this stuff kind of pop up.
So
and
I
that's
think
an important thing.
it definitely is. And what's quite sad is I had a chat with a different toy line, quite a prominent figure in that toy line community, who's written some books on that matter, and he wanted to do something on Mask. And I thought, let's talk about that. And he said it wouldn't be worth his time because he's worried he will not be able to move enough of those books. And I thought, that's a little bit sad. I think we have a community that's big enough. We are not fragmented, but I think we are a lot bigger than we seem, and we just got to keep that growing. We got to let those numbers show. You know, we don't want to have like 3,000 here, 3,000 here, 3,000 there. We got to have something that's like 60,000. You know, like the vintage toy selling site, and for instance on Facebook. Once you start going into that territory, I think then you might get ears sticking up.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point to look at you know, in that aspect, that, you know, if somebody wants to write a book, and I know of some books that are being written right now, some books and guides and, you know, things of that nature. And I just hope that the time that those people are spending are just going to be worth it for them in the end. Naturally, you know, are they going to be billionaires off this book? No, but the time spent should help at least offset the cost and the time that they're working on, and you get a really cool, you know, guide or a book about how Mask came to be or something along those lines. So, it's been a hard thing, because with any, you know, nothing from Hasbro or Paramount, I've tried repeatedly. Without any kind of news, we're left with what we can figure out for ourselves. And the biggest piece of news that has come out recently is the two Transformer vehicles that look like Hurricane and Stinger. It's that's it.
Tiny little things.
Yeah, then I mean, or that Ryan Reynolds was rumored to be Matt-Trakker, but that's not going to happen. It's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to really keep pushing with this, but then you realize and you remember that for as long as you've been doing this, people are following you, and people want this to happen too, and you're a voice. You're a podium. They can post things on your pages. They can state their opinions, and that's an important thing too. It's not, earlier I said that, getting it out there to Hollywood and seeing them see it was the most important thing, but that's actually not true. It's the fans that have followed along and have put the time in to watch this video that we're recording right now. They're going to watch this video. The fans that have watched my channel, watched me grow through it, from being completely insane to only a little bit insane on these things. And watching the Agents of Mash channel, watching all the other websites out there that cover mass to some point, it's an important aspect. And without people watching and collecting and asking questions and chatting with other people, without that chili find, there's so many things that might not have happened or might not happen because of that. So, like I said, when new websites pop up, I go, ooh, what's this? And I look at it and I go, wow, that's better than mine. So, but in better meaning, I like the design better. I like the layout, and I like what you're doing with it. And I've changed my website so many times. I'm like, all right, I'm sticking with the layout I have right now. My wife will kill me if I spend any more time on this. But I'm going to keep adding to it when I can. So that's the important thing, is that we have that aspect for your website where your son's helping you build it to grow from that avenue. But I really do think that it's important to really, your website has the, all the pictures of all, everybody when they were younger. And that's an important thing to show. That's the community feel, and that's, no matter what else you do, like you have that really cool concept of the rotating figures and everything along those lines. But that community shot right there, that was like the most important thing to me.
That's actually one of my favorite pages, I have to say. I was really, and what's fun is trying to hunt down who the people in the photos are. So if anyone's watching this and you see yourself there and you don't have your name, let me know, please. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, if it wasn't for me posting, I said, hey, this is me. I posted before. I don't think anybody would be able to tell that the kid with the mullet and the Big Bird pajamas was opening his first Thunderhawk that day. But that's me on the page. I think I'm on there also with Boulder Hill, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it's a cool thing to watch and a cool thing to see, like all the other, all the other people on there that are opening up their first mass toy, or maybe their kids opening up one, or maybe they recollected something. It's fun to watch. Like you see it in the feed all day. Like things just kind of scatter and happen, but to get it, collect it, and put it somewhere as an archive, more or less. I appreciate the fact that you're doing that.
That was one of our aims all along. Getting the pictures was a bit challenging, but just yesterday I had another person who scrolled through the page recognize himself, and last week one of my friends recognized one of his friends on the page as well, which is really quite amusing. So yeah, good way to reconnect. But I think those childhood pics, I mean, we're all, as collectors, we're nostalgia hunters. So, and what can be more nostalgic than your first moments when you're actually with your toys? Which is why my most prized possession isn't even here. It's my little T-Bob, my own Rhino, and I only have two figures. I only have Bruno Shepherd and Matt-Trakker from Coast Patrol. But those Bruno Shepherd was my favorite figure, so I'm really happy I still have it. But the rest have all vanished, so I'm gutted by that. But everything else I've bought comes second to my original figures. That guy right there, yeah. And he has a mask, my original one, so I'm really happy with that. And so T-Bob was one of my favorites as well. So I can't complain.
I mean, you could complain because this version of T-Bob is not spectacular.
I agree and disagree. I think my memory of T-Bob as a cartoon is one, but my memory as T-Bob as a toy is that mobile T-Bob. But I do really love all the amazing guys coming out with their 3D printed and redesigned T-Bobs. And Wes, who's a good buddy of mine, is currently making a really special transforming T-Bob that's going to be cartoon accurate transformation, which is in the process.
No, it's phenomenal. There's a special place in my heart for that T-Bob. But if I look at all the detail and the artwork that went into these figures, and I look at T-Bob, I'm like, what the hell happened to that guy? It's like, what did they do to you? Why are you 5 feet tall? Like, or 4 feet tall, whatever it's obviously it's hard to make a robot that can turn into a scooter to be scaled to anything, but it was still a little off-putting. Even when I was younger, and I was talking to my mom and my dad about this, I always asked them why T-Bob was so big. Why is T-Bob so big compared to the rest of the figures? I just asked them this the other day. So, and they said that I questioned that a lot. So
that being said, we did dodge a bullet with T-Bob because his original incarnation was a vacuum cleaner. So a transforming vacuum cleaner as thingamabob, right? So I think I'll take the scooter T-Bob any day.
Yeah, but I have one here. I forget where the mold came from.
Yeah.
But Mask Shark Customs painted it for me when he James, who painted the Thunderball and Ramp Up figures for me. He also painted this one for me too, and I cannot believe the amount of details on this. My camera here doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
The line work on this, I have such unsteady hands that it would look like an earthquake was going on if I was trying to paint it. So the fact that this exists in my collection as it does, I appreciate that fact very much. Now, this one here is a little bit better sized for Scott and T-Bob together. There they are standing next to each other. That works, but he doesn't transform. I'm not going to hold that against it. So when you get that other one, let me know when you get that, because I want to see that.
Yeah.
When it transforms and all that fun stuff. I don't know. So, we talked about the website. Your collection behind you right there. You have a couple boxes, I think, right? Let me see, like one or two.
About
like
three or four, yeah. Mm.
Yeah. What is that in the top? So you're over your top right. Yep. What is that up there?
That?
Yeah.
So that is a Panini sticker sheet. It's an uncut sticker sheet of the hollow foiled stickers.
Okay.
I'll send you a close up that you can kind of put it on.
Okay. That's nice. And you got one of the promotional flags for the racing season.
Yeah.
That was that for a party, right?
It was for a party. I'm still trying to get all the information sorted. It wasn't Toy Fair. It was some kind of launch for the racing season held in New York, but yeah, it was not during the traditional Toy Fair. So I'm chatting with some of the employees about that.
No, I've seen it before. I just couldn't remember exactly all the words that were on it, but no, it's interesting. Like you have that flag there, and you think about, hey, who attended this party? Can anybody tell me why you guys did this? Like, can
Exactly.
anybody tell me why you switched over? I don't know. But you have two Boulder Hills behind you.
Yes.
You got you
So
got
this is a Canadian, and this
okay.
is a US first release.
Okay. Are they sealed?
The Canadian one is sealed. This one is not. I'm a box collector. I love the box art. So my favorite type of toy would be sticker unapplied with box, just because I like to see the toy without the sticker. I think that is really cool. But I prefer the loose figures. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of loose figures just sitting on my table here as well. So you can actually feel them. You got the dexterity. You can have the fun with them. And all the images on Mask Force to date, everything is from our own collection. And as we add stuff that we don't have, we will give credit. Yeah.
Yeah. So to right behind your right ear, you got one, the other right ear. That one. Yeah. You're right.
Sorry.
It's my left.
Because it's mirror image on the screen, right? I'm like, wait, this is. I thought I'm going to the right. I'm going to the left.
So that there, people would die to have that.
Yeah, it's so, and I think they would die to have this particular one because this is actually a prototype laser command.
Really?
So it's a test shot. So stickers unapplied test shot, no marks. The color is a little bit different. The windows are not painted. So I was fortunate to be able to get that.
Wow.
Probably about 12 years back. Yeah, when
I didn't know that was
Mask was collectible, when we could actually collect it without having to spend a fortune.
Yeah, it kind of took a weird dive forward with a lot of stuff. You got some of was a collector and then the rescue mission there.
Yes. This guy. Oh, see wrong. Yeah. So this guy's quite one of my favorite pieces actually. It's the original rescue mission. Yep. Yeah. This was released in Singapore and Malaysia, and you could only get that with a free toy.
I have one carded on punched over that way.
Yeah.
I have not the box, but the card. And I was always interested in finding those red and white boxes, but I haven't really seen them.
Have you seen the boxes that have been done by my good friend Dick Copus from Vectorize? So this is the new version, so his reimagination, and they're really a close fit to the original. He just did a phenomenal job. So I think anyone who wants to get one.
He was donating to what was he donating to?
Aaron. So yeah, he did the special Venoms release box, which he did a special tribute at the back to both Sharon and Brendan, and he was donating all proceeds. He's still got a couple left. They're running out, so I think if anyone wants them, go check him out at Vectorized. I'll give you the link.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. You got Skybolt there. Got Stiletto. It's probably not yellowed. What else you got? You got Bulldog, Hurricane. So you have the complete run of the US line behind you, with some others.
So there isn't enough space. My shelf actually extends. That's another. So yeah, I have the complete run of the US boxes. Okay. And I have most of the European boxes, and some Canadian and Mexican and Playful.
And what were the fundamental differences with the Canadian versus the American? Did it have
toys were identical. The boxes, the artwork's the same. It's just the dual language. And and since recently I just put up a page on difference between Wave 1, Wave 2 of Series 1. it appears the Canadian boxes follow the Wave 1 type boxes. So you've got that General Mills circle, the half blue, half white on all their boxes as well, which I thought was interesting. So they probably released those simultaneously, but I'm not sure exactly of the time stamping for the Canadian boxes. I need to check that out more. I'll be right back. Mask will be.
No, you're fine. There's so many variations of the boxes that it's a monumental undertaking. I started to try to do it, but there's so many out there. I don't even know. I don't even know how many there are, to be honest. And I have some variations behind me, not as many as you. I like to go loose, but some of the stuff I started getting recently, like I posted earlier today, that I got a box for Condor and Gator. Is like a tour review, like update. Because a lot of times when I do these reviews, I talk about the whole thing, not just the toy, but the box. But a lot of times I don't have the box, and it's just how I collected. And I find myself trying to find the boxes, here and there, not spending a ton of money on them if I don't have to. So I want to keep doing that. I want to keep trying to find those boxes to be able to kind of fulfill at least, something that's complete, so to speak. Although, I mean, I have the entire run plus more sitting behind me, like you do, and a lot of other collectors. It's just a matter of like what your preference is going to be at the time. When I first started collecting, I wasn't collecting boxes. I was going loose. And that's been my philosophy for the longest time. And there's still some things in that, the collection behind me here that I want to update. Like my stiletto, the vehicle, not the masks, it's yellowing, and I want to, I know Dan has done, some work on that, but
Yellow
no,
like this, right? Yeah,
it's
that's a very yellow one.
No, it's getting there, and it's like the Super Nintendo. If you have one of those, like for some whatever reason, the plastic they use for that yellowed instantly once it hit air. It's just I want to try to find one that's not going to do that, but then did a video which is in German, which I really don't understand. But he showed the steps to take to cure it essentially of that. And I have to, like, I sent him messages asking him about it, but I was like, can you just redo it? Just do it in English. And it's no fault. It's my fault because I don't understand any other language. It's, that's something I really want to I want to fix that. And I know the tools are out there. I know the video. I just mentioned it. I want to take the one I have now and fix it up if I can. But
it works really well. So I've done this for a couple of figures in the past, and some of my buddies as well. I use a slightly different technique, but it's effectively using the peroxide as well.
Okay.
Yeah, they work well. But your stickers and everything else kind of will need to be taken off, and then you need to put on repros.
Yeah, the repros don't bother me. I know they bother some collectors. But if you have something like, say it was your original, right? And it was just you loved it a lot. Like basically you beat the hell out of it when you were playing with it when you were a kid. But you wanna spruce it up a little bit. You wanna bring it back to life. If you're getting repro stickers, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to try to find unpeeled original stickers, go for it if you have the money and the time to devote to that. Yeah. But like the last thing I used for repro was on my this hand, my proton pack. back here. You know, I got some repros for it. It was like $8. I had no stickers,
Why not?
so
Yeah.
it worked great. You know, and you know, there's no rule against doing it. You know, I mean, unless you're gonna unless you resell it at some point, you know, make sure you say it's repro.
Yeah.
Don't say it's original. That's the only thing I would say, really. But other than that, sky's the limit on what you're going to collect.
I mean, you know, it's a personal collection. If it's for yourself, I say do with it whatever you want. You're right. There's a lot of people who are very fastidious and they don't want anything being changed from the original. But I mean, it's your own collection. You do what you like. I mean, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Philip Davis. He does this amazing line of repro stickers, but he adds on to them. So he's got a whole range. Like his Outlaw set is incredible. He decks out the whole inside of Outlaw with various extra screens and things, and it just really makes it come to life. It looks so much more like a cartoon. He did Boulder Hill set as well. Yes,
I've seen it. I just didn't know who did it.
Yeah. So he's done an amazing job. So
now I've seen that set. I've probably seen the Outlaw one, but the Boulder Hill one really stuck out, like adding in those elements that were missing. Like there were a ton of missing.
Yeah.
You know, you had, you know, some of the bumpy detail on the backside of it. Yeah, but other than that,
the
like
floor and the walls.
Yeah, there was so much missing from it that it was a welcome addition, to say the least. If so do you have everything you want in your mask collection? Is there something that you want that you don't have?
I think I've got more or less what I want. I'm looking at box variants because I do love the box art. So those are things I will continue hunting. But as for the toys themselves, I have all the toys and I have them. I have enough of them, and I think there's no need to overdo it, right? You don't need to have 20 of each piece. I'm a prototype collector myself. I've been for many years. So that's kind of the focus in terms of moving forward with the collection, because I have the production stuff. And my other huge aspect of interest, which I've been collecting also for 20 years, is art. So comic art and animation cells. So I'll be having a big section on that on the site soon. Yeah, you have got one with, I saw it the other day. Oh, there it is at the bottom. Right. You're Floyd with the kangaroo.
Yes, I got that one. I got a shot of Matt gripping Miles by the collar.
Yeah, from the racing series one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got Buzzard getting almost crushed by rocks, and then a pencil drawing of Matt taking a knee for some reason. I don't know what he's doing.
I think that I remember the episode. It's just slipped my mind. I actually really love the pencil drawings. I think the detail sometimes on them just looks so much cleaner. It really pops. The Dugas were amazing.
A lot of them. So I have the pencil drawing of Floyd with the kangaroo. I have the pencil of Miles and Matt, you know, with grip. I don't have the pen. I do have the pencil for the Buzzard, and the pencil just for Matt. The one with Miles that has a DIC stamp on it, I got that for $1 on eBay. And I was like, yeah, it was free shipping. It's like
mislabeled.
No, nobody. It masked Miles Mayhem, Matt-Trakker. Like nobody. Like I bid. My high bid was like $550 on it, or like $556, right? And I forgot that it was going on, and I ended up winning it for $1. And I was like, yeah, it's like it's the most inexpensive thing I've gotten. I was, you know, aside from people like sending me stuff for free, but I was like, yeah, I just went in for $1 free shipping. I felt bad, like
I lost.
You know, I just felt bad. I was like, really? Is that all it's going to go for?
They knew it was you. No.
I guess, but no, it's a hard thing to find, because I've never seen any kind of cell or pencil drawing from season 1. It's only season 2. I don't know if that's the same thing for you or not.
So I do have a couple of season 1s, but they are extremely hard to find. What I heard is DIC went and destroyed all their archives and burnt it down, which is the same thing which happened, what David was telling me the other day with the UK comic art. All the comic art, they were given 2 days to collect it, and it was just all burnt down. It's a travesty.
Well, that makes sense because I literally can't find any.
Yeah, they're really hard to find. I got mine many years ago, but nowadays you'll see them pop up on eBay. It'll be the same cells. It'll be the the next number. So that's the same kind of class of cells or the same episode. But finding something new or season one, it's got to be someone who's had one in the past and is now letting go. And a lot of cell collectors don't let go.
Yeah, I'm not letting go, but I'll take pictures for you.
I'll send you some. The other thing is art. I mean, I just want to show you. So I was very fortunate like comic art is just phenomenal. The details that you get into it. So this is one of the UK comic.
This is UK. Okay.
These are UK comics. It's just insane. So I was able to get a couple from David and Joe Del Beato, who's a good friend of mine for many years, who did the inking for the DC comics. I managed to get quite a few of his pages. So yeah, we've worked.
I have
trying to
one.
work together on something. I saw it on the wall. Yeah.
I remember when it was first proposed, I was like, I want this one here where the Venom agents are dressed up like mummies. So they're all like trying to trick Matt and Bruce, like, we're mummies, be scared of us. And Matt's like, yeah, I'm not buying it, and shoots them with the Spectrum mask.
Yeah.
Like I just found it so it was like so nonchalant, and I was like, yeah, I'll bite on that one. I'll get that one. But no, it's hard to find the art. It's hard to find, the cell animations. I haven't even seen a cell animation pop up in months, to be honest, unless somebody snagged it before I saw them. But I do look like, hey, oh no, that costs too much.
Yeah,
it's what you can afford. And what does it mean to you? Worth is worth what you pay for it, and
exactly.
That's just the name of the game. And the Mesk figures, the bootlegs from China that I got, I'm not gonna tell you how much I spent on them, but it was more than I wanted. I had to have them because they were so hideous. And I was not. This guy was like, no, I don't want to ship them overseas, and I was going back and forth, and I was like, you have to do it. I need them. It's like, I need these hideous. I need that Wilford Brimley looking Miles Mayhem.
Massive helmets, huge masks, which are like 1/3 the body, right?
Yeah, I mean, Miles Mayhem's shoulders are like out to here, like he's.
Yeah.
Do you have it too?
I have one. Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Oh, okay.
Quite far back. Yeah.
So
we had quite a few in Singapore many years ago, before masks became popular. Now they can't be found.
I had to have it, and luckily I was able to get it. I know there's like single variations of them too and things like that, but I just remember seeing it. I was like, nope, mine. Nope, stop selling it. Just sell it to me. And
I have the carded one as well. I've seen a couple of those around, but I don't have any. Yeah, those are quite.
No, the carded ones are harder to find. Plus, I don't think they say Misk on them. I think they say Mask. I think Misk is only the 4-pack one. It's a good logo. I don't understand it. What does it
stand for?
Mobile. Mobile Enlarged Strike Command. Like I don't know. Like what does that stand for? Mobile.
Evil. You see, it's Miles
so
took over. They combined Venom and Mask.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I saw them. I was like, nope. I fell in love with them. They're mine. I have to have them. But that was like one thing. I was like, I didn't even know I wanted it or had to have it, but I did have to have it. I asked you, like, you have everything you want in your collection. Obviously you're going to go prototypes and, as you said, like going for more of the artwork and things like that. What was the one thing you wanted to have in your collection before you got it? Like, going over everything you
Oh,
have.
yeah. No, so it's a funny story. So about 2012, I missed out on a Thunderball prototype. And that kind of really was a bit irritating. One sec, I've vanished. And many, many years later, there's a prominent collector came to Singapore, and we were having dinner, general toy collector, and I was having dinner with him with a friend, and we were sharing photos, and he had a photo of that prototype. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have it? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, if you ever sell it, keep me in mind. And then years passed, I had a chat with him about it, and he said, nah, it's not selling, not selling. And then I was away from the scene for a couple of years, and he sold it during that time. And when I came back, I asked him, he's like, it's gone. I was like, oh my God. But fortune struck, and the person who had it knew I was interested in it and just wrote to me one day and said, hey, I've got this. Would you like to have it? And yeah, it arrived in my collection about 6 weeks back. And that was just like coming that long full circle from 2002, 18 years later, that Thunderball prototype made its way into my hands. So I'm sure he's listening. He knows who he is. Thank you so much for that.
Where is it? I don't see it.
It was in Germany.
I mean, where is it right now?
Oh, where is it? It's in my other room. I'll send you a photo of it.
So how many of those are there? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think there's at least there's a couple of boxed ones and maybe about 5 or 6 loose ones.
Yeah,
I know of at
I've
least
heard,
personally. I
I've
know
heard,
of 6. I know there's more.
I've heard different stories on them.
Yeah.
Typically, ramp up as well. But I don't have anything definitive. So whenever you can kind of piece together some of those elements, it's always nice to be able to have that other information. Like you just said, like there's like 5 or 6 on a couple of box ones. That's good to know. Because it's hard to speculate, and it's really hard to understand how many there were, because like I said, I've tried to talk to people with Kenner over the years. I've not been able to talk to anybody on this show or even just some private emails. And I'm not going to talk to them like, hey, why didn't you make Shark?
Yeah.
Why did you wait so long to release Vanessa? Like, I'm not going to go over the little gripes I have. I want to talk about just the awesomeness that they want, like all the stuff they did, the feats of engineering. What was the process like from, concept to out, in the box, and what happened with Thunderball and Ramp Up? Where did it end up? Like, was it supposed to be split seconds? Was it going to be another line continuation? Like, what were we going to do with this?
Yeah, because it didn't fit in with split seconds. That was a really bizarre thing that they promoted it as a split seconds with no clone.
It was, but I mean, it didn't fit.
Yeah.
So like, what are you guys really going to do with that? So, it's, I said I would just love to pick their brains, and it was such a long time ago. They probably don't want to talk about it. It was their job. It wasn't maybe it wasn't something that they felt really gratified doing. But I mean, the engineering feats that they accomplished on those vehicles, on those toys, are still today some of the most articulate toys you're going to find. Not the figures. The figures are what they are. The figures are phenomenal. Almost all of them, except for that one I'm pointing at right there. Which one? Who am I pointing at?
I love them all. I can't, I don't discriminate, so I can't answer that.
Oh, all right.
I assume it's a split seconds.
No, it's Series 2. Good old Hondo from Hurricane.
Really? I like him.
I like Hondo. I hate that uniform. But no, it's there. Those toys, those pieces of plastic with rubber tires, which is a feat itself. All the mechanisms, the way they transform, they're they're not as complicated as a transformer. They're as complicated, mechanically as a transformer. And Kenner had something really good there, and it just didn't happen. And it's hard to explain, but being able to one day hopefully talk with somebody from Kenner to be about the toy line, it would just be a fun conversation, I think.
Definitely. I mean, I've had a chat with a couple, but they don't know the reason for the thing. I mean, personally, I think it's just the lack of advertising, right? Once our cartoons that we had were 25-minute continuous adverts. And once we went to the racing series, that kind of fizzled, and then they stopped. And season 4 had nothing. Nothing was linked to the toy line.
What are you talking
nothing linked
about?
to a cartoon. Nothing
I
linked
mean,
to the cartoon.
all the clones. I remember all those clones in the cartoon. You remember the clones?
Maybe I forgot.
No, they were there.
Yeah.
They were like holographic projections. You couldn't
They
really see
were
them.
invisible holographic projections. Yeah.
And Julio had a mask that had like a hat on sideways. Yeah, you don't remember that? I think we're talking about two different shows here.
Could be.
I
Maybe pole position.
No, you're right. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, hey, was that already in the pipeline and they pushed it out like after the show ran its course? Why did the show only last 10 episodes for season 2?
I heard the one of the writers of the second series, because he was a writer for other things, he was given a 2-week deadline to come up with the entire script for these 10 episodes and do something different. I read this many years ago. I had this on some posts which I've kept in some archives, and I'm trying to figure out who this guy actually was who said it. So I've stored a lot of information from all the groups and the message boards from years ago as well, and there was something about that there. So that'd be interesting. It'd be really interesting to find out.
That's another. Yeah, that's a big question. Like, one, why did it happen that way? That's the, like, and I have talked to the voice actors, and I think I said before, I'm going to be chatting with Mark Halloran and Graham McKenna relatively soon, and I chatted with them years ago, and nobody really understands or what happened between season 1 and season 2. So I'm not expecting any kind of like great revelations out of this, but it's always fun to be able to talk to the voice actors who worked on the show and also realize that there's crazy people like us 35 years later that are doing websites and channels and everything else in between, talking about this, these elements. And some of them aren't even acting anymore. Just something they did. But luckily, with the advent of the internet, we know who they are. So it makes it a little bit easier to, track them down and ask them politely if they want to do something. If not, you let it pass and you move on. I don't know what. So, what are some of the things coming up on your website that you, if you can elaborate on it?
I mean, I think the main next focus is we want to really get down on the comics, the UK comics, get some good details done on those, and our Cartoon Avenue, which is going to be a huge thing. We're working together with with Wes. I'm working with him on what we call a secret project. We'll be coming out with a special mask vehicle, hopefully within the next couple of months. And with my son, I'm working on a project which actually appears at this time point to take up even more time than the website. And I don't want to give anything away there, but if it works, it's going to be pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I've said a lot, but said nothing at all.
No dynamite or anything, right? It's all good. We're not.
It's all good. It's
Okay.
safe. It's safe. But yeah, no. In all seriousness, I think looking forward on the website, I just want to expand on what we have. I want to make it a better archive. Really get down variations. Each figure, there's so many different variations of the individual mold that we notice. So we've got pictures of that. We want to archive that. Variations within the toys. Like gator bombs, missiles. There's slight variations. It's just these nice fun things. And I would love the community to be able to help and send in pictures of stuff that we don't have, and if they see something that we don't have, let us know. We'll put it up.
No, definitely. No, it's definitely a great thing to be able to strive for, and post where, like, if you're ever looking for people to help with photos that you might not have, obviously 100% post in toy collectors and
Yeah.
in the mask forum that I run, and there's great admins in both. So if anybody tries to spam you for anything, they'll stop on that. But it's hard to put these things together, and the biggest problem is that it takes time.
Yeah.
The time when you want something, you ask a question, hope for an answer. It might be 2-3 months later or more, and that's the hardest part. So I can congratulate you and your son, and for you guys putting this website together, and for your collection behind you, which it's a little better than mine. Hindsight is 2020, but I'm looking at both of them right now, and yeah, I'm a little jealous. But before we close out here, is there anything else you would like to add in before we do that?
I mean, I think I just want to thank the community for the support. It's been really good. I mean, the messages we've been getting directly through our website and on Facebook have been really encouraging. I mean, we've done this for the community, and we want the community to help it grow and help direct us and tell us what they want. Tell us what we want, and we will try and make it happen. And if we can make it happen together, that'll be even better. I mean, that's the whole point for this. It's tough doing it by ourselves, but a lot of us also are kind of micromanagers, right? We want to be on top. I know that feeling, but with this, I think I'm happy with what we have down, and just let it grow from there. Yeah.
If there's anything I can help you with, I will.
That'd be great.
It's like I said, it's not, if you're posting something new, if I see it, I'm going to share it. If you're thinking of something, you have an idea and you want to get, back and forth on something, I'm not going to take your idea and put it on my website. So just don't tell them I'm going to do that. Okay. That wasn't to you.
I didn't hear anything. I've got headphones on.
If you want to, fire ideas back and forth, like, there might be a day where I say something to you like, hey, I was thinking about doing this for the website. What do you think? And I wouldn't feel like that, you, Robert, are going to be like, oh, that's a good idea. Like, I'm not worried about that at all. I literally, like, I'm just so happy that there's other entities out there like you, like Agents of Mask, Kerouac, All About Mask Comics, and everybody else in between. I'm not forgetting anybody on purpose, but there's a lot of really good things out there. And we just have to keep pushing forward as a community to really get something out of the collective. And hopefully, one day we'll be able to talk about a mask movie together, and talk about how Aaron Eckhart should not be Matt-Trakker. So, but no, I appreciate your time, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
And again, maskforce.com. There'll be links everywhere as I edit the video somewhere around here somewhere. But this won't be the first time or the last time we talk. I wanted to do, a video right here just to break the ice a little bit. This is the first time we're talking outside of chats. But there'll be more talks, I know, down the line, between the two of us, and possibly more, maybe some of the mask roundtables that I'm putting together. So I hope you have a good rest of the day, right? Yeah, rest of the day.
We're ahead. I'm ahead of you. Yeah.
You are in the future.
I'm in the future.
What lottery number should I play in New Jersey? Can you tell me?
I'll message you. Otherwise, everyone else will hear.
But no, I appreciate your time, Robert. I really hope, you know, you keep continuing with the growth of the website, and I hope you continue to stay safe. You and your family can stay safe the best you can. And remember to please like, comment, and subscribe to help keep Mask alive. And this is Bill, and that's Robert, and we'll talk to you later.
Spectrum's got such supervision.